Hello, beautiful people. I want to share with you today a little bit about a topic that last week in my Q&A I got quite a lot of questions about it, and I didn't really reply to those questions in a post or in a message. But the question that I got is if I work with parentification. And for some of you, that might even be a completely unfamiliar topic, and for some of you, it's something really you can relate to. So shortly, parentification is something that can happen in your childhood, and what means actually that you as a child start to step into the world from an early age, into the world of your parents, into the world of your mother or your father. And children usually do that as soon as they sense that one of their parents isn't physically or emotionally available. So that can happen after divorce. It can happen after one of the parents pass away. It can happen if one of the parents is absent for work a lot, or is emotionally, mentally not capable of taking care of the family. So what happens? We step into that role of the parent, of the adult, while we actually, on all the levels, are still a child. And if this becomes like a survival mechanism, or it becomes like a chronic role that we take on, it can create a lot of problems. It creates a lot of imbalance, disorder on many levels. And you can imagine if this role becomes the normal for you, that you go later on in life, if you don't bring this like back into balance in the right order, you go into life and you go to your work, you step into relationships with friends, with partners, you step into those situations, into those connections from that role. And it can create a lot of imbalance. And people ask me, one of the questions I got was like, what can the impact be on the long term, if you chronically have been in this parentification dynamic? So I've seen many people struggle with anxiety disorder, depression. I've seen people struggling with codependency. And the thing is, if we step into that role, if we experience parentification, we think we need to be strong all the time. We go into people pleasing. We think we have to be the big one all the time, which means actually we lose our innocence as kids. We lose our playfulness. We don't use it, we lose it. So those are just a few things that can happen. And you also have imbalanced order. It's out of order in your family system, in your family dynamic. And to bring that back into balance, there are a few ways how we can do that, or at least how I do that in my work. And you can work with family constellation, you can work with inner child regression, you can work with hypnotherapy, you can work with ancestral healing, because sometimes parentification is a pattern in the ancestral lineage as well, which also through systematic work and constellation work you can find back, you can bring back the right order and the right balance into the whole family dynamic and the family system. And through inner child regression, you can actually take care of that little girl or that little boy within you who stepped into that role, which was never his or her role at all, was never her responsibility. But for whatever reason, he or she sensed that his or her parents weren't capable of being in that role. So we were actually really smart and sensitive as kids to step into that role already too young. And it was never your job, it was never your role to do that. But at some point we maybe didn't even have a choice. So through inner child regression we can like bring healing and love and acknowledgement towards those parts that were in this dynamic of parentification, and like integrate that part into the adult person you are right now. So those are a few options how you can work with that. And I hope this clarifies more the topic of parentification. It's just in a nutshell, and I can speak way longer and way more about it, but I want to keep it short today. So if you have any questions or you can relate to it, is it something new that may be brought up for you, please feel free to reach out to you. I'm more than happy to share more about this topic. And yeah, I'm wishing you a lovely day. Bye bye.